Welcome back to Athletic Everyday, day number 201. A very hot workout today. I was contemplating leaving the workout until later, until the sun had fully gone over, and my outdoor gym would have had a little bit of shade, but I decided that I would get the workout in a little bit earlier because I was having a birthday thing with some family coming over. It's not actually my birthday today, it's my birthday tomorrow, but family going over in the evening, get the workout out of the way earlier on in the day, and then you have the rest of the evening to relax. Enjoy time with friends and family. So workout-wise, I decided that I'd start off with some single-legged and then some two-legged box jumps, just working on just being as explosive as possible off the ground and then trying to see how high I could get without bending my legs and then just seeing how high I could get with bent legs. I think the top there is about 47 inches just standing, so that's pretty decent for me. And jumping is a fantastic way to potentiate the lower body for Olympic weightlifting. So I always find that when I do something explosive before a snatch or a clean and jerk, or a snatch and a clean that is, I find that I perform a lot better in the workout versus if I just come in cold and do the snatch. It takes me a lot longer to warm up just doing snatches than it does if I'd done jumps or something explosive beforehand, like sprinting, jumping, bounding, dunking even. All of those things will potentiate the muscles of the lower body quite nicely and the nervous system quite nicely for snatching. So what I was working on with the snatch today with the build-up weights was a high hang or a dip snatch, working from the power position, followed by a full hang snatch. So that would be like a complex 1+1. So as you can see here, dip snatch or a high hang power position snatch, and then a low hang below the knee snatch, always catching in that full squat position. So reason why I decided that I was going to do this combination of snatch exercises is to see where in the snatch I'm going wrong, because I've noticed ever since I started snatching again over the last couple of weeks, I jump backwards a lot after contacting the snatch in that third pull, and you can see how I jump my feet back. And I don't do that as much when I do the dip snatch or the snatch from the hip crease, but when I do the full range of motion below the knee hang snatch, I jump back a lot more. You can see it here. I'm jumping back almost like a foot. That means that there's something going wrong in the first and second pull. And you can see here when I worked up to my top set of 80, when I just did double full hang snatches going from below the knee again, you can see how far my feet jump back, and I'm almost losing the bar. You see how my heels pop up there because the bar is having to travel backwards with my body. It's almost like I'm having to bring the bar back with me, which means after contact, the bar is getting away from me, which means that the fact that it's not happening in the dip snatch, but it is happening in the full hang snatch, means that there's something going wrong somewhere between the first and the second pull. So between the floor and just above my knee. So something that I need to work on, potentially snatch pulls, potentially it could be a pause snatch, potentially it could just be muscle snatches, working on pulling enough of my body, but so that did expose that for me. And the dip snatches are just fantastic for building explosiveness from that triple extension in that power position, so they're also useful for that as well. But overall, snatches went well today. Was actually quite surprised I was able to get a double with 80 for 3 sets. So that's pretty good, which means we're making tiny bit of progress, even if the form isn't as good as it used to be. But something I'll be working on in the coming months, especially. Anyway, moving on, I decided that I would do my new grease in the groove version of front levers and handstands. So I've decided that I'm just going to start training front lever and handstand as frequently as possible. So whenever I've got access to a pull-up bar, whenever I've got access to the ground, you can always have access to the ground, obviously. I'm just going to start doing handstands and front levers as much as possible, spending as much time inverted in the handstand so I can get good at doing it, and then getting as much time as possible in that front lever position. Doing not as much as I possibly can, doing it to failure, but sort of greasing the groove, which means you say, for example, you can do a 15-second front lever, then you go and do front lever several times a day for somewhere like 5 or 6 seconds, and you just hold it. And then over time, as you do that, because you're getting a lot more work volume in, that then improves the neuromuscular efficiency of the movement, or of the isometric hold in the case of the front lever. It enables you to get a lot better at the technique and the coordination of the muscles in that movement. You know what they say, practice makes perfect. The more you practice something, the technique of something, you get a lot better at it. So that is my methodology for practicing front lever and handstand every day. Then the last thing I did, just to build a little bit of single leg strength, were some Zercher reverse lunges. Really like this variation because the weight is so close to your center of mass. I feel like it's a lot more stable, although granted I didn't feel very stable while I was doing this. I can see how this has a lot more ability to be overloaded. I mean, when it's on your back, it is stable, don't get me wrong. But because you're holding the bar literally right next to your center of mass, you have a lot more control over it. And also, you just get a lot more upper body engagement as well. There's a lot more lat engagement to hold that bar nice and tight. You get some arm engagement as well. You're using your biceps a little bit to keep the bar from falling out of your arms. You stay nice and upright with the torso. It just feels like you have a lot more control over this the more frequently you do it. Again, I'm relatively new to Zercher, but it will get better as I get on. Anyway, that's it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.